Hey, beautiful souls, welcome. We're going to talk tonight about trauma, emotional trauma. And it's becoming more prevalent out there in the spiritual community that we actually do need to heal it. And it has been my observation and understanding over the last 15 or so years that this is an absolutely essential part of the ascension process or the expansion process that we're going through. And because the frequency is rising around this realm as we are moving to greater and higher frequencies, anything within our system that is heavy and dense is sort of being forced to be pulled up with it. It will come out within us whether we want it to or not. And we are going to have to face things that are within us that we haven't dealt with before. Now, in my experience, you cannot resolve this and heal trauma through an analytical headspace. You do need to analyze and understand and see your patterns and become aware of what happened and how it occurs and over, how it influences how your life unfolds. But at a certain point, you need to let all of the thinking process and the analysis go. And really, the only way to heal what's going on inside of you that needs to be addressed, that needs to be seen, is through feeling it all to the best of your ability. Oratike shoshanze kibitesa. Insukuria shestrakian darabakitse sustekatianakike. Ambariate suke esiki andariashesa. Ajukanze sike oreti anjokea. Now, why is this the case? Because a lot of these traumas happened to us or were set up within us at a place in our lives, those very early years, where we didn't really have a thinking process. In the first 7 or so years, we're just sponges. We're just absorbing everything around us. And we're absorbing frequencies, we're absorbing through watching what happens around us, how our parents interact, how our grandparents interact, how they view us. So from what we see, feel, and hear from those closest to us in those early years, we make decisions about this world without ever being able to decide whether we want to make those decisions or not. And this is talking from the inner child or the young child's perspective, because of course, on a soul level, these unfinished lessons, unresolved issues, we are aware of them before we ever come in. And we come in knowing that this life will be another opportunity to heal and release. So the trauma is heavy frequency, it's heavy energy. And the trauma is often around fear, about anger, about low self-worth, about powerlessness. And these are things we experience, and many other things that weigh us down. We experience them for the first time in those first 7 or so years. And because we are not really thinking, we are absorbing them as energies, as a truth. We live them out over and over without really having an understanding of them in those early years. And when we wake up and we understand how we look at the world and how it needs to change and how we need to change our perception of ourselves, we can only go so far with the head, with the analysis. And the answer is to drop into the body and feel. So what is the ascension process or the expansion process? It's a rising of our frequency, moving up through the levels and vibrating faster and faster, higher and higher, more expanded. And all of the energies that hold us here are dense, heavy energies, and they're actually at the center of the heavy emotions. So emotion is energy in motion. So when you are diving into anger and feeling it without analyzing it and just feeling it and taking its measure in a way without resisting and being brave and looking it in the eye, as it were, we begin a transmutation of not only the energy but the emotion as well. The energy begins to morph and alchemize as we look at it, as we feel it, as we breathe it. And it shifts and changes what it is you are emitting. So at this moment, you might be emitting a range of these heavy, dense emotions. But as you begin to feel them and understand them and breathe them and bravely look at them, they begin to break up and release. They begin to morph. And thus your energy signature morphs and changes as well. And then the world begins to change and reflect that change to us. So that's how the ascension happens, through releasing anything that is not in alignment with the higher frequencies of love and compassion and joy, happiness, bliss, and awareness. Oretishu shanget sibiti seka. Ambreasike janzeki ambakreatsesu etianaka. So why is inner child work important? Because you're going back to the place that they were rooted in your being as a child in this life. You can deal with what's happening in your everyday life. Look at the emotions that you are being triggered to feel. But if you were to follow that energy back through your life, back to those early years, you would find the beginning point where it was anchored because of an experience, because of something that happened or happened to you in this life. And that's where it gets set up. That's where your lesson plan, in a way, gets set up for this life, for this process of evolution, this transformation process that we are in. Bureshtike sukandia bata oke zishenze kike ambutaria shetsa kukariat samba ote si za shanze kiena. So sometimes when you release emotions by feeling them, you can go through a healing physically. You can feel ill, or you come out in a fever. You let it go also on a physical basis. So be prepared for physical changes, because often the illnesses we have are a reflection of the emotions that we haven't healed. And thus the energy that's at the core of those emotions is having an effect on the energetic systems of our body. Oreshishe sa umbaka ambariase kike handariashe saka ujet sanze ebetisa. So what I would like you to do is to just get in touch with something that's been troubling you. What's the first thing that pops up? How does it feel when you remember that or think about that situation? Where do you feel it in your body mostly? That is where the energy is actually anchored in your system, from my experience. And if you drop into that part of your body, let go of analyzing it or thinking about it, and just breathe and feel whatever you're feeling in that part of your body, you begin the transmutation process. You begin the release of the energy at the core of the emotion that you're being triggered to feel throughout your day. So just drop in and feel. Allow it to be there as best you can. See if you can even Be open to feeling it, allowing it, turning and facing it, and look it directly in the eye, as it were. Surrender and soften towards the energy at the core of that emotion as well. And just allow the light language to be absorbed and to flow through your system. Arianzo ye ma, Andrea se kurie sana, kinde betushte kuye, ayandea kuriatsi betunde. And breathe. Oshesi kandariasaka kuretsa. Keep driving in, diving in, and finding the center of this emotion, this sensation, this energy. Umbutureshia sakariatseshu hariti betariana. Hambayande. Oyangi endoyo ende umboyande areti korea saktariam betsi shenzeka hareti aboretia sukrendi abokriatsa amba et sushena andriakiaka et tutariasha. And breathe. So the phrase that I use is, to resist, things will persist. But if you feel, it will heal. And there is a great truth in that you won't entirely heal this from a headspace perspective. That's important, yes. But you have to start looking at what you feel within your body that you have not thus far been willing to dive in and look at. So many blessings, beautiful souls. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Bye-bye.